What if I told you there was an ancient book, once part of biblical tradition, that described heavenly journeys, fallen angels teaching humans forbidden knowledge, and giant offspring that devoured mankind? A text so controversial, it was banned from the official biblical canon for over 1,000 years, yet was quoted by early Christians and even referenced in the New Testament itself. The Book of Enoch, a forgotten scripture that claims to reveal secrets of the universe, mysterious angelic beings, and prophetic visions so incredible that religious authorities throughout history have struggled to contain its influence. Today, we journey into the shadows of biblical history to uncover what's really inside this enigmatic text and why it continues to captivate minds across millennia. The Book of Enoch is not just another biblical text, it's a collection of writings attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, who, according to Genesis, walked with God and then was no more because God took him away. This single cryptic line in Genesis sparked centuries of speculation about what divine knowledge this man might have received. Written primarily in the 2nd century BCE, the text claims to contain first-hand accounts of Enoch's celestial journeys, conversations with angels, and divine revelations granted to no other human. For nearly 2,000 years, these writings remained largely hidden from Western eyes, preserved mainly in Ethiopia, where it remains canonical in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church to this day. But what secrets does this mysterious book actually contain? And why did religious authorities deem it too dangerous for mainstream believers? The most famous section of the Book of Enoch tells the shocking story of the Watchers, 200 powerful angels who, captivated by human women, abandoned their heavenly posts. Led by their chief Semjaza and the infamous Azazel, these celestial beings took human wives and produced offspring described as giants, the Nephilim, who brought devastation upon the earth. And they became pregnant and bore great giants whose height was 3,000 cubits. These devoured all the toil of men, until men were unable to sustain them, and the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. But the text goes further. It claims these fallen watchers taught humans secret knowledge that heaven had deemed forbidden. Azazel taught weaponry and warfare. Barachiel taught astrology. Kokabiel revealed the mysteries of the stars, while others introduced cosmetics, sorcery, and root cutting for magical purposes. This narrative presents a profound theological challenge: celestial beings directly interfering with human development and introducing knowledge that altered the course of civilization itself. A dramatic alternative origin story for human violence, vanity, and mystical practices that traditional religious texts barely hint at. In another section, Enoch describes being taken on an extraordinary journey through the heavens, guided by the archangel Uriel. He witnesses the inner workings of the cosmos, the chambers of the sun and moon, the paths of the stars, and the storehouses of snow and rain. A remarkable early attempt to explain celestial mechanics through divine revelation. I saw the winds which turn the sky, which cause the orb of the sun and all the stars to set. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the ends of the earth the firmament of heaven above. The text describes Enoch traveling through multiple heavens, each more wondrous than the last, culminating in his approach to the divine throne itself, where he witnesses a being described as the Great Glory, surrounded by countless angels singing "Holy, Holy, Holy." What's truly remarkable is how these visions prefigure apocalyptic literature that would appear centuries later in Daniel and Revelation, suggesting that the Book of Enoch may have influenced these canonical texts more than many religious scholars have acknowledged. Perhaps most controversial is Enoch's description of a messianic figure called the Son of Man, the Chosen One, and the Righteous One, a heavenly being who existed before the creation of the world and who will eventually judge both the living and the dead. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool, and with him was another being whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of graciousness, like one of the holy angels. This pre-Christian description of a divine, pre-existent messianic figure bears striking similarities to later Christian teachings about Jesus, so much so that some scholars believe early Christians must have been familiar with these writings. Indeed, the New Testament's Book of Jude directly quotes from the Book of Enoch, treating it as authoritative prophecy. Yet despite this apparent influence, the text was eventually excluded from most biblical canons, perhaps because its vivid descriptions of angels, multiple heavens, and cosmic mechanics went far beyond what other scriptures dared to claim. Another fascinating section presents detailed astronomical information, descriptions of the sun's path, lunar cycles, and stellar movements so precise that they form a functional 364-day solar calendar. Enoch claims this knowledge was revealed to him by the angel Uriel as the true divine timekeeper. And I saw 6 portals from which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. And the moon rises and sets in those portals, and the leaders of the stars with those whom they lead. This emphasis on correct timekeeping was not merely academic. It established which days were sacred and when religious observances should occur. Some scholars believe this astronomical information may have been written to challenge competing calendar systems during a time of religious controversy, positioning the Book of Enoch as not just spiritual revelation, but also as a political document advocating for specific religious practices. In another section, Enoch receives symbolic visions of world history portrayed through animal imagery, from Adam to the flood, through Israel's history, and ultimately to a final judgment. White bulls, sheep, eagles, and wolves represent different nations and peoples in this cosmic drama spanning creation to apocalypse. And I saw till horns grew upon those lambs, and the ravens cast down their horns. And I saw till a great horn sprouted on one of those sheep, and their eyes were opened. These elaborate visions present history as divinely orchestrated, with righteousness and wickedness locked in cosmic struggle across generations. Behind earthly kings and battles, Enoch perceives angelic powers influencing human affairs from realms beyond mortal sight. This apocalyptic worldview, seeing current events as part of a grand cosmic narrative leading to divine judgment, would profoundly influence religious thought for millennia to come, from the Dead Sea Scrolls to modern end times prophecy. The Book of Enoch offers a window into beliefs that existed alongside early Judaism and Christianity. Beliefs about angels, cosmic secrets, and divine judgment that shaped religious imagination for centuries. Though excluded from most biblical canons, its fingerprints remain throughout Western spiritual thought. Perhaps most remarkably, this ancient text grapples with questions we still ask today. Are we alone in the universe? What unseen forces shape human destiny? What cosmic justice awaits beyond our mortal lives? The Book of Enoch reminds us that our ancestors weren't simply primitive believers, but profound thinkers who constructed elaborate cosmologies to make sense of existence itself, crafting narratives that still captivate our imagination thousands of years later. If you've been fascinated by this journey into ancient wisdom, hit that subscribe button to join us for more explorations of hidden biblical history. Next week, we'll uncover the secrets of another controversial text, the mysterious Book of Jubilees, sometimes called the Little Genesis. Until then, remember the words attributed to Enoch himself, the words of blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the chosen and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. Perhaps in these ancient words we might still find wisdom for our troubled times.